Right, welcome back to NZ Marko Kustoms. So, got this little KE70 Corolla wagon, four-door wagon here. We're going to do some paint, do a full repaint on it and a bit of rust repair. It's definitely not perfect. I'll make it way straighter. It's pretty rough. And when I mean rough, it's like lots of little dents and shit in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark all the spots that I really want to look at, not so much dents, but rust or anything that looks funny. So we'll do that first. Right, so we can see that down there. I'm not worried about that. But we got here, obviously, bottomless door. Hopefully we can get away with small patch there. We got that and that to deal with. This to deal with. We got along here to deal with. Hopefully, I'm really hoping it hasn't been all fudged up, but I'm not really digging into this thing. This is sort of a what do you want to call it? A clean up and a tidy up, and obviously make it better. Like the panel work on this thing is pretty. We won't be blunt about it, you know, it's pretty horrendous. There's dents and marks and shit everywhere. Like, we'll make it way better than it is. It won't be perfect because I'm not going to put that much time in it, but we're going to knock it back really hard. Obviously I'm going to strip bits off it, take the chrome off around the windows, get the wipers out of the road. We're going to clean the engine bay up. And assess it, because it was originally blue. So give this a bloody good clean, like water blast, spray some shit around here, give a really good look, see how it comes up. If it looks okay, we might just touch it up, but otherwise, because it is a slightly different colour, we're going to paint underneath here. Again, there's a wee bit of rot in it, so I need to fix that, or at least make it better. I might get him to maybe, if he really wants to, get a better hood or a bonnet, but we'll paint the underside of that. We've got some issues and then around here we'll obviously got to clean this up. We've got to straighten up down there. I'm not worried about that at the moment, like it just needs straightened up. He's got a bumper that he wants to put on. We need to suss that out at some point. So we've got this to deal with. Find out what's going on there, whether it's just broken it out. It's been flared, obviously, at some point. How well, I do not know. Again, right in here. There's some rot in this door too. I don't imagine this thing's probably the best underneath, but some issues there. Again, doesn't look that bad, but we'll find out. We'll have to give that a clean up. It's a little bit of bubbling. Almost looks like in the paint. I'm not 100% sure here. I'm just looking for the obvious stuff for a start off. You know, we got a few dents and whatever. You know, it needs a tail light lens. I'll talk to him, see what he wants to do. I think he wants to shave the back bumper off. So maybe I could fill them, blend that out, whatever. We'll do a little bit of custom work on it. And it's going to be the same colour as this roughly. And a white roof, or creamy white roof again. There's no door panels or anything on the inside. He's got them all out of it and whatever. So we'll whip the seats out of it. Well, yeah, we'll whip the seats out of it. We'll strip the doors out, get the door rubbers and everything all off it. Just, it makes it life a lot easier to paint. Don't know if I'm going to strip the back glass out of it. We'll suss that out. If it can come out easy enough, I'll take it out. It's just damn sight easier, because then we can just back mask everything. You know, I'm not going to worry about painting the inside of it. We'll paint the insides of the jambs. We'll flick the insides of the doors. You know, we'll just mask off around here. You know, I'm not sure if he's got the full top door trims or not, so we'll just paint the tops of the frames. Basically we'll just scuff it and we'll just shoot it around there and we'll leave the original colour on the inside. You know, just fix it up. We'll take these off. Obviously we may take the back glass out again. We'll see how easy it is to get out. It is a heated one, so I want to be careful with that. I'm not going to take the front glass out. We'll just pull the chrome. He's got a nice set of fat, wide, I think, what are the 13s or 14 inch. We would call them tridents over here, deep dish, like 5 hole, like, you know, the jelly bean type, whatever, wheels. It's got a set of those to go on it. And I think it's a little, I'm not 100% sure. It's meant to be a 7K. I'm not sure about that. It's just what I've been told. I know these come with sort of factory with like 3Ks and 4Ks and stuff like that. I think this was originally a 1200. Yeah, 1290, so it would have been a 3K originally. But they make, I don't know, they make 3s and 4s and 5s, but I'm not sure about a 7K. It's one of those things I'm not 100% sure of. I've been out of this era of stuff for a long time. But I cut my teeth on this sort of stuff, pulling it apart and fixing it and whatever, like way back in the 90s and late 80s when I was pulling stuff apart for Dad, you know, when I was at sort of high school and stuff like that, you know, like I used to go to work with Dad, even younger than that, and pull cars apart and whatever. So I cut my teeth pulling these things to pieces. Pretty basic, so yeah, if we can get it reasonably clean on the inside and we'll have a decent flicking around here. Just unbolt all the stuff out of the road and we'll just mask it around the motor. Clean up, you know, pull the battery and radiator and whatever else out of the road if we have to. And just, yeah, we'll try not to pull everything out, but you know what I mean. We can pull a fair chunk out of the road and unbolt a few bolts and just sort of pull it out of the road a little bit, and we'll get, you know, a couple of nice coats in there without going crazy. Obviously we'll pull the headlights and everything all out of it too, but just trying to decide where to start, to be honest. We might whip the door off and strip it out and whatever, and we can put a lot of stuff back in the back. We'll just put it in boxes and bags and whatever, and mark it out, and we'll get this thing stripped down, and we'll tear the paint off it. Well, when I mean off it, we'll rip it back pretty hard, and obviously we'll tear it off where we're going to do repairs that we can see, and we'll have a good poke around, make sure there's nothing else that's jumping out at us, and we'll go from there. We're only really going to fix the stuff we can see, all the stuff that we find when we're having a wee poke, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to dig too far because it could end up a wee bit of a nightmare, but who knows. It's just with it being quite so ripply and ravey and looks like it's been beaten around a bit, you know, it needs a bit of work, but I think with a few hours here and there, and we'll try and get some of these gaps a bit better and block her out and pull her back pretty hard, and a few coats of jam and whatever, and she'll look pretty good. Right, 12mm socket full door. Should be only just the 4 bolts on it. We know you over here. I think I should have some bags here somewhere, or a box or something, and we'll undo all this crap on this door, pull the rubber off, and we'll just wrap a wee bit of masking tape around it, and right, whatever door it is, strip it out. It actually doesn't look that bad. It looks actually pretty solid. They actually don't look that bad, hey? They're pretty clean, apart from that. I would say at some point it's had a heap of garbage in the bottom, and it's just rotted out there. So I think by the time I just we'll clean it up, we might just have to cut a little bit off the bottom of it. Maybe even put a small patch in there. It doesn't actually look bad at all from the inside. Might just get away with a couple of small patches, we might just fucking just get away with it a little bit. We'll see. And also just get a bloody good block back and a bit of a smear and just make sure there's no other weird issues with the paint job that's had here at some point. I'll give you a wee poke in the door and point a bit of light in there and we'll show you. Get in there. So you can see the rot in there, but it's not really, it's not heavily rusted, like heavily like scabby or like real bad obvious stuff, if you know what I mean. Like it's nice at the bottom of the door, looks like it's rotted off from the inside and it's just been filled full of body filler or anything. The door actually looks fairly solid, which is good. That's quite a relief. So yeah, we'll strip it out because it's the right way to do it. It's not a difficult door to pull apart. It's half a dozen bolts and door rubber and pull the glass out of it and pull the rear quarter panel out of it and whip the handle out and you're down to a bare door. You know, for the sake of a 15 minutes work or 20 minutes work, yeah, it's damn sight easy to work on and paint. You don't have to mask it out or anything like that. And yeah, go from there. That little metal rod into that plastic thing might just a bit gooey in there. Let that sit for a bit. Or deal with the other door and pull another door off. Right, yeah, I hope these door handles don't become a pain in the arse. I've got that one striking as well. It doesn't want to seem to pop out of the it's got like it's like the threaded rod with the thing on it, but it's got the plastic clip so you should be able to flick that over and then it should just pull out. And obviously that threads for adjustment so you can get the door handle to work properly. But because they're plastic door handles, they want to flex and they just don't want to seem to come out. So yeah, I've got that soaking with some CRC. I'll spray that again. So we'll try one of the front doors. I'll just pull that other back door off. I've just undone everything while it's there instead of pulling it off. But I'll pull it off anyway. And once we get the door handles and everything out, then we can, we'll get the locks and the door handles out and then we'll pull the glass out. At some point, tomorrow, maybe, who knows. We'll deal with it as hopefully we can get them out. I don't really want to have to fight with the door handles. I'd like to get them out so we can paint this thing properly. It's just been sprayed around the outside. Obviously they got a colour that was kind of close to the original, a little bit darker, and yeah, I'd like to just respray the whole fucking doors and jams and whatever. And, you know, it looks uniform. Doesn't look a slightly different colour on the inside, if you know what I mean. Just make it a bit nicer. Anyway, we'll whip that back door off, you know, and they've painted everything with the door handles and everything on last time. And I just don't like doing that. It actually probably just takes just as much time to prick around, to mask around everything, than it does to take everything off. It's 1/2 dozen the other, and it's a lot less masking time at the end of the day. Like it's probably easier in a lot of respects. Once you actually get painting, it's a lot easier. So yeah, all I'm really going to have to do is mask up once I actually get painting. Is the dash area, cover that all up, and a few bits and pieces like that. You know, just where we don't want the paint to get onto, obviously inside of the glass and stuff like that. You know, just back mask the doors and lots of shit and just blowing around the jams, and we can pull all that off and put the doors back on, and once we've painted the inside of the doors, bolt them, we'll make sure the gaps are right, and then we can just spray the rest of the car. But anyway, we'll get this the back door off, and then we'll have a poke at the front of the front ones and see if we can get that apart. Alright, so we're working on the left front, so we've got one door to get off. So this is the piece I was talking about that's stuck in those other door handles. So I managed to poke this in there and kind of just work it backwards and forwards and got that one to pop. So hopefully a wee bit of soaking, they might come loose and break free. So at least I can get this one stripped out, and then we'll deal with that one, and we'll probably give those another script before we leave, and tonight, and just let them soak. Maybe they'll pop out in the morning. But yeah, this is kind of the same, like the door, actually like in the insides. Apart from being a bit grubby, it's actually pretty reasonable, but it's almost like, I don't know, like the drains were a bit blocked up at some point, and it's just rotted in between. It's rotted right at the bottom, so we'll have to get in here and give it a bit of rust treatment, maybe peel the edge off. We might put I don't really want to put a new skin on it, because the rest of it's actually not bad, but we might have to pour a heap of treatment down in there and deal with it, and we'll work something out, you know. But yeah, like they've actually been pretty clean doors, and it's a bit weird that they're kind of gone like they have, but yeah, they've probably just been, I don't know, it's been sitting outside at some point, or it's had a heap of shit in the bottom, and then they've been cleaned out when it was just resprayed last time, but they never treated or had cavity wax or anything frickin' put down in there. So anyway, we can do all that. It's not a biggie. I think it'll actually, as long as I don't find anything else horrendously wrong with it, you know, apart from a few dents and a wee bit of shit here and there, it shouldn't be too bad, but, you know, fingers crossed. We'll carry on, we'll get this one blown apart, we'll actually get this one apart, and then we'll rip the other front door off, and the only thing else really that's in here that needs to come out is just, we'll whip the seat belts out, or at least undo them here, pull these pieces off, flick the seats out, and we'll just leave that one in there loose with a couple of bolts in it, so we can move it around under its own steam. And yeah, and then we'll start giving it a fucking good clean up, and then work out whether we can I reckon this back glass might come out actually easy enough, and then we can get in here and just make sure there's nothing sinister going on in behind, at least. What this is, yeah, funny shit like this that we can at least address. Let's see if these will come off. I'm not sure how they're attached at the top, not sure. Can't remember. Too long ago. But yeah. And whether we take the hatch rod off or not, I'm 100% sure. We'll deal with that a bit later. But I don't know, I might have a talk to him, I might ring a couple places, because it's got a couple little freaking ugly dents in it, and it's got that bit of rot in the front. You know, it's not too bad, but maybe it might be, I don't know, there might be an aftermarket hood available for these things. Like I know there's a couple of places around here that do that sort of thing. You know, it might be only $300 for a brand new hood that we don't have to screw around with, if you know what I mean. Right, I might just zoom in. Just a whisker or 3. 10, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so let's get a bit of body filler in here. Doesn't sound like it's got a lot in it, but there's a bit of cheese in here, and I half wonder whether they've just ripped into it and never fucking filled anything, or never fixed anything. Might have a couple of little pinholes in it or something, and I've just mudded over top and hope for the best. You know what I mean? Probably didn't have a welder. Who fucking knows? But anyway, we'll tear it with one of those Scotch-Brite discs. I'll just go grab my mask and we'll tear into it, and we'll strip this bottom section anyway up to probably here somewhere. I'm not going to go under here. I think it looks okay. We'll just rip into this with some 60 grit and then probably some 80, and just get rid of the worst of it off the top, and then, you know, we'll smear a little bit of mud on it and whatever later on, you know, when we're at that point and we've got this hole fixed and anything else. But yeah, it just really needs maybe a couple little spots with a wee bit of hammer and dolly work. I'm not going to go mad on it because, you know, just the money costs aren't in there. But I think really a couple of spots hammer out, skim a filler here and there, 4 or 5 coats of high build, block her out, and she'll be a million times better than it was. So we'll get her marked. Hard to say, but I almost wonder if it had a few pinholes there and they just tapped it in and put a wee bit of mud on there, and it's flash rusted and rotted out from in behind. That kind of looks like what's happening there, because that's like got something in it, but it's stuck. I'm not sure. That might be just a dent. It's like a wee hole in here. Obviously we'll clean up the back side of this. We're not going to go up past here, you know, we'll just blend this out here along this edge. You know, by the time we put some primer and whatever on. Not too stressed about it. But we can soon, unless I need to whip the whole bottom off this, I don't think I'll bother, and we'll have a wee look. See a little bit of crunchy stuff here. We'll see, but we might just get away with a smaller patch just to fix that and tidy the rest up, and we'll just sort of assess it. But might just grab a wire wheel and we'll just rip along here across the bottom, try and keep away from these clips if we can. And we'll just give this a wee clean up as well. It's got a wee bit of rot trying to start in here, so we might just peel this edge back and have it clean up and then treat it and whatever and fold it back, put some new seam sealer on there. Yeah, and we'd probably just get away with a bit of a small patch in there and just make sure it's not rotting out anywhere else. Yeah, I'd say it's just a bit of moisture in there that couldn't get out at some point, and she's just rotted. You know, it's obviously been a pretty clean car. Yeah, we'll grab it. So the front of the door's rotted out down here. It's been patched up at some point. I wonder if you might be better off to find another door. Alright, yeah, so there's a bit of stuff down here. We'll have to give this a decent clean out. I need a bit of wire wheel. That one's getting pretty worn. But down in here, she's been patched up. I could see there was a bit of body filler in there. It didn't look right, if you know what I mean. And it's actually been rubbing on the door frame. It's maybe what made me wonder. It's been rubbing in here. So they just laid the patch over top. So I have a yarn to him, and I'm see if he wants to maybe try and find a better door, or I'll cut this out and actually lay the patch. We'll actually weld it into the door instead of welding it over top like these, like whoever done this did. Yeah, I can soon make it up. It's not a major, if you know what I mean, but it's just, you didn't have to start building all this and then obviously see what's going on the inside. That's what bit that worries me. It's like if I start having to dig into here as well, it's just a lot of time for the sake of a door that mightn't be too difficult to find. There's still a few of these around, and somebody's bound to have a half decent door somewhere. As long as it's not rotten, if you know what I mean. All we want is a shell. So, but yeah, we'll dig a wee bit further this one later on. But anyway, that's a bit of an update on the door anyway. So on the next segment of this, I'm going to try and keep my videos shorter, or I might do a slightly longer one with bigger jumps in it. But yeah, that door obviously needs a bit of attention. We might see if we can find a hunter's better shell. It might be just cheaper for him, and he might be better off bringing me another door, and we can clean that up. We'll see. Yeah, it might be a similar situation to the bonnet or hood. These might be available aftermarket. I know the market for these is quite a popular little car, amongst the the modifiers and whatever else, tuner boys, whatever you want to call them. So there may be aftermarket doors still available for these. I know there was a long time ago when I was working with Dad there for a few years in the second-hand parts market, and we used to buy a lot of new Taiwanese, aftermarket doors and panels for cars. So it's not to say that these doors might be pretty easy to get, a new one. I don't know, and same with the hood. But it might be just faster and cheaper and quicker than fixing that. If we have to fix it, we'll fix it. That's not a major, but it will just, it's like that 65 Impala, like there's a bit of that sort of stuff around too, but it's kind of at that age, like, you sort of dig into one and you find something, you're going to dig into the next one, you find something. So unless you get brand new panels, you kind of, one door might have rot here, and then the next door, you think's good and clean, you strip that down, it's got rot somewhere else. So sometimes you're better off just to fix what you got, unless it's really bad, if you know what I mean. Like it's really rotten, you might be better with a slightly less rotten one, but we'll see. We might better find a better door. We'll just see. I can fix it. I can cut it out and do it properly, and it'll be way better. But we'll dig into probably the other front one, and we'll get that stripped off, and we'll come back and show you then. Right, made some progress on those doors, those door handles. Managed to get them out, the lock pieces. Managed to get these pieces out, get these to break free. Bit of soaking, and just worked it backwards and forwards with the screwdriver in between the handle part and obviously that piece, and just wiggled and just pried gently, if you know what I mean. Didn't go gung ho or anything like that. So at least now we can get those last two door handles out. Should better get in here with this little stubby one, I think. at least we can get this out now. Get it out of the road. I thought I might have better. I might better sneak in there with me long extension. So I got that one gutted. This one here I've got there. I've still got to put the handle and everything out and the glass out, but at least we've got that one out too. The mechanism. Oh yeah, sweet, that'll work. Oh, don't do that on me. Is that turning the fucking... That's turning the plastic piece of the door handle, isn't it? It's turning the fucking insert in the door handle, I bet you. Just got that feeling. So we get this one to come loose. Where the hell are we? That one's alright. That one's alright. Biggest fucking problem is some of these had like a metal door handle. That are like a chrome to the door handle. That was metal, I think, from memory. Can't really remember. Again, it's been... Oh shit, I don't know. Wow. Anywhere from mid-80s to the basically into the 90s was when Dad sold the yard. So 98, 99 or whatever it was when he sold the business. So yeah, I had a sneaking suspicion that plastic bit, or that metal bit's turning into the plastic freaking door handle. That other one. Got a sneaking suspicion. Another go. I hope it's not. Otherwise we might just have to see if we can get it off. And then glue it back. Glue that piece back in, if you know what I mean. It's got that feel about it though. Yeah. Yeah, see if I can get that off. See if I can fight it off. Maybe the insert will pop out and then we can just get some Loctite super glue type sort of stuff and glue it back in. We'll see. I'm not sure. We'll try. Yeah, so we managed to get it off, but the other piece still in there, so hopefully we'll just better put some vice grips or something on there and then get that undone. Yeah, and then we can obviously have a decent look at these doors and see if we can get some of these hoops and hollows out of it, knock down some of the high stuff. That feels like really quite high there. You can see it's got quite a bulge in there. So again, we'll tear all the paint off here and see what's going on and hammer some of these pieces down, and we'll just go from there. Again, it doesn't actually sound like it's got a whole heap of body filler in it. They're just blown over top, which is pretty sad. It's just a shame they didn't just... somebody spent an extra bit of time on it. Hopefully, I should better get in there and actually hammer that back down a bit. At least get those couple of wonky pieces out of it. That's cool. At least we're getting there. Anyway, we'll carry on. We'll have to try and get these handles cleaned up a bit and get all the frickin' blue off them or green off them or whatever. I'm surprised my paint hasn't turned up yet today, but that's not to say. Actually, it might have dropped off from the house, I don't know. But yeah, it's not to say it's not over at the house. But yeah, at least we can clean this up and make sure it's all fitting properly. We don't have all this paint around door handles and shit like that. I hate that. That drives me nuts. Unless they're really, really fucking impossible to get off, but you know, a couple of hours of work get all that sort of shit out, and then you're not having to mask it all up. You just paint the fucking thing. Way easier. Way easier. Anyway, we'll carry on. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, we'll keep going on this little tour de Corolla with the 7K 1800 in it. It's cool, quite a cool little car. I actually quite like the little two-door version, panel van version of these. You know, with the little twin cam motor, and they're freaking pretty nice little buzzy little car. Or even with a or even with a rotary or something like that, it'd be pretty cool, or even something else, you know. But yeah, a cool little car. A lot of people use these for burnout cars with big V8s and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah. Catch you later on. Cheers. Thanks for watching.